vibes. Oh wow, my voice just absolutely went because it's
let me get it. Let me get it today because I'm like,
with the intro.
You know the vibes. You know what it is. Pat Bev is in the building. We said big time players step up in big time moments. And Anthony Edwards, ladies and gentlemen, stepped into the spotlight, and we have a new star, superstar. Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards. Let's put some respect on their name. The Minnesota Timberwolves are back in the playoffs.
Man, feels like forever since the Minnesota Timberwolves were there. They've, of course, just won the first of the playing games. The Brooklyn Nets also won their playing game. We'll talk about that in a second. But congratulations to the Minnesota Timberwolves for making it to the postseason for the first time in a long time. You know, aside from the year where Jimmy Butler dragged them in, it's been a hot minute since the Minnesota Timberwolves were involved in the postseason. And their reward for making it there is a first-round matchup with the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, before we break down matchup,
I'm all about it.
That matchup, let's break down the game from last night because it started off a little shaky. Pat Bev, 3 fouls in the first quarter. Karl-Anthony Towns had 2 points and 4 fouls by the halfway through the second quarter. It was looking shaky, and then this kid stepped up. We spoke about it yesterday. If you guys were watching Heat Check, we spoke about it yesterday. I said that kid shines brightest when the lights are on. Anthony Edwards showed up. There was that little stretch, you know, closing out the first half, I think, where he just went bucket, bucket, bucket. And it was like, wow. Let's not forget, like I said on this show on Monday, he gets disrespected in these young player combos. Which player would you rather have on your team? Which player would you want to build your team around? Anthony Edwards is for real.
Let me tell you something, Mo. Let's stop with all of the who's who, what's what. He got to be in the list now for 25 and under.
Oh, facts.
Anthony Edwards, ladies and gentlemen, is a star. Star.
I do want to give some credit to Ty Lue, the Clippers. They started off the game really well. That first half, they played unbelievable basketball. They were right there with it until the very end as well. You know, it was just until late in the fourth quarter where the Timberwolves really took over and took the lead. So fair play to the LA Clippers. They've got a chance to keep their postseason hopes alive. They're going to play against the winner of the Pelicans and the Spurs. But we got to make a breakdown now of this matchup. It's really intriguing me, okay? This first round matchup between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Memphis Grizzlies. BJ, what are some things that you're going to be looking out for in this first round matchup?
Well, let me tell you something. You know, I just want to be, first of all, I want to really celebrate this win by the Minnesota Timberwolves. This was a big time win for them. This was a must game at home. All the chips were on the table. They didn't particularly play well. Perhaps their best player right now, Karl Towns, probably had the worst game of the season for sure.
Yep.
And they find a way to just hang in there. They just hung around. Now, what I like about them is this is one of those character building games, right? You know, you talk about the games that turn things around for you, because when you know you can win and don't play well, it suddenly gives you confidence. They can play much better. They grinded the game out. And D'Angelo Russell played with so much poise at that lead guard position that I think he can offset the great play of Ja Morant. I really do, because Ja Morant is going to be Ja Morant. Ja Morant may have 35, 40 points a game, but D'Angelo will have 25.
And 10 assists. Statement. That's, you know,
D'Angelo is very capable now of having, what do you have, 28 in the second half or something?
He came away with a total of 9 points.
Okay, what did he have?
A slow start. Yes. I don't know exactly how many of them in the second half.
He scored 20 something in the second half. D'Angelo Russell is capable of having 27, 8, and 7 rebounds. He's a very capable player, and he's capable of having a 40-point game. I don't think Ja Morant will just overwhelm him to where it will affect how he plays on the offensive end, because he's a veteran. I was watching him tonight, and I was very impressed with how he played and managed the game. Patrick Beverley is going to do what Patrick Beverley do. Patrick Beverley was outstanding. Big time defensive plays, leadership, toughness, and all of those things. It's kind of like the coach coaches the other 4 players, and then there's Pat Bev.
Wild card.
Yeah, hey, no, he's a wild thing. Not thing, wild thing. You know what I mean? He's just out there talking trash to everybody. He's talking trash to the other team. You got to love what he brings. So the Grizzlies, they're going to be in a fight here, because this team, talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves, you know, I like what they do. They defend a little bit. Mo, I was really shocked that they could actually grind the game out.
Yeah, shout out to Chris Finch. The defensive turnaround this season has been amazing. And also, you know, guys like who don't get the credit, like Jared Vanderbilt, who do play amazing defense, they deserve a lot of praise for the way that this team has turned around their defensive reputation, because we all know they weren't playing no defense before, and they managed to cover for Karl Towns, who isn't the strongest defender in the world. And I'm interested in this big man matchup, BJ. How do you see this big man matchup going with not only Steven Adams, who I think when Steven Adams on the court, they'll give a lot of the looks that the Clippers did to Karl-Anthony Towns, you know, throwing the help at him, throwing 2 defenders at him. But then what the Grizzlies like to do is when Steven Adams subs out, they slide Jaren Jackson Jr. over to the 5. They might bring Brandon Clark in. And I think Jaren Jackson Jr. can guard Karl-Anthony Towns straight up and just live with single coverage on that. How do you see the big man battle going between those two?
Well, you know, give the Clippers credit for junking up the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they were junking up the game. And Karl-Anthony Towns didn't make an adjustment, which to me was kind of like, you know, it was amazing to watch, because you were like, you're seeing what they're doing. They were just leaving the one player alone, and Karl-Anthony Towns never made an adjustment during the course of the game. Jaren Jackson is probably going to cover him, I'm guessing, you know, with single coverage. But after seeing tonight, it really seemed to affect Karl-Anthony Towns. Maybe this is something that you will see. I think this will be passed around in the league now, because Karl-Anthony Towns never made an adjustment on the offensive end. So it'll be interesting to see what the Memphis Grizzlies will do, but they have options. And Karl-Anthony Towns looks like he's way more comfortable on the perimeter than he is posting up, accepting double teams, and making the right pass. In spite of the double teams, which were obvious tonight, he was continuing to try to drive to the basket and just plow through people. So I was very shocked and surprised by his inability to make adjustments during the course of this game.
And credit to Nick Batum, who took that assignment on early, but I think also getting him in foul trouble early on, like I said earlier, the 4 fouls midway through the second quarter played a huge part, because you could see the frustration. And it's almost like he got in his head a little bit. But, you know, we talked about that. It's a matchup that we're excited to see. BJ, I'm going to need your prediction. Who wins that matchup and in how many games?
Which Memphis?
Memphis and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I'm going to say Memphis in 6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Memphis is going to win. I think Memphis, I think their bench will probably be better. Ja Morant is an elite player. I think Ja Morant will play like Ja Morant. I don't know if, you know, the guards, D'Angelo and those guys, can play at that level for a series. Do I think D'Angelo is capable of playing a game or two? Absolutely. He's a very capable player. And what I like about D'Lo is D'Lo is a finisher.
Ice in his veins.
If the game is close. Yeah. D'Lo is a finisher. So I like the Timberwolves, but I just think the depth, the versatility of the Memphis Grizzlies will eventually wear this team down in a 7-game series. I'm going to pick the Memphis Grizzlies in 6, but I'm hoping that the Minnesota Timberwolves, hopefully they can win a game or two, because I think that would be good for them, something to build upon. They've had a terrific season thus far, and a couple wins and be competitive, I think will serve them well as they head into the next season. But you never know what can happen.
Now, that wasn't the only game last night. The other game was, of course, the Brooklyn Nets booking their place in the playoffs by defeating the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're going to be facing the Boston Celtics in the first round in a 2-7 matchup, which is the reverse of last year, where Brooklyn was the 2 seed and Boston was the 7 seed coming through the play-in. It's turned on its head, and I know you've been waiting to discuss this one.
I want to, hey, Mo.
Let me hear it.
6 minutes, 6 Mo. You're on. Mo.
Now, I'm seeing this, and I'm really confused. I'm really confused by what I'm hearing.
Oh, no,
from
Mo,
people.
you're not confused. Boston Celtics versus the Brooklyn Nets. There's nothing to be confused about. First 1 to 4 wins the series. Hey, okay. What are you confused about, Mo?
I'm confused about everyone telling me that it's going to be Brooklyn getting to 4 first. Did you watch that game last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Did I watch the game, Mo? Did I watch the game? But before we, first of all, we want to send our best and our condolences to all the people there that, I don't know if you saw that, Mo, there in the UK. There was an incident that happened there on the subway.
Oh, no. What happened?
It was I don't know. It was an incident that happened here. Let me make sure I can get it to you.
Yeah, I've been locked in on this basketball all day. I didn't see nothing on it.
It was a tragic incident that happened. It actually underscored the game. Where someone on
yeah, I'm seeing it.
There was someone a tragedy, where someone came on
17
the subway,
people injured in New York City subway station.
Yeah. So I just want to send our best and our well wishes out to the families, to everyone there. It was just, I don't know, Mo.
Prayers up.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say that. Okay.
That looks crazy.
Yeah. It was only it's very close to the practice facility and stuff. So for Brooklyn,
Yeah.
So all right, back to our regular scheduled programming here, but just wanted to send our best out.
No, I appreciate that. Shout out to everyone affected by that. Stay strong. BJ, we got to talk about this basketball though, because I've been so locked in on the basketball all day. I ain't been checking the news.
Mo, you're in a dogfight right now, Mo. Mo, you're in it.
Everyone is overthinking this massively. Everyone's talking about the Brooklyn Nets. I don't want to hear it. Okay, the Brooklyn Nets were up 22 against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were without Jarrett Allen, and they were playing awful. It looked like Caris LeVert was trying to tank the game.
And they
1 from 9
right
with a bunch
there.
of turnovers, 22-point lead, and then all of a sudden you blink and it's a 6-point lead, and Darius Garland's brought them back, and the Cleveland Cavaliers have a chance of winning that game. You telling me this team's going to take out the Boston Celtics? You telling me that the Cleveland Cavaliers, if Caris LeVert and Lauri Markkanen didn't play so bad for the whole time, they could have just won that game? Yes, and then Brooklyn's fighting for their life for the 8th seed. I don't want to hear everyone's talking about, Brooklyn's going to take out Boston. Boston is a legitimate contending team in the Eastern Conference. The Brooklyn Nets arrived into the playoffs by the skin of their teeth against the beaten up, broken down Cleveland Cavaliers roster. And I'll tell you this, if the Cavs didn't have those injuries, even if Jarrett Allen played, they would have won that game tonight. They would have won that game. The Brooklyn Nets better be thanking whoever it was that got Jarrett Allen injured, because otherwise they would have lost tonight. So I am worried about the Brooklyn Nets. KD. Oh, KD's going to score 40. Okay, cool. Kyrie's going to score 40. Okay, cool. That's only 80 points. You ain't winning a game with 80 points on the board. Who else is going to step up? Who else is stepping up? I don't know.
Okay, Mo. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this right now.
Okay.
I'm saying this right now, Mo. The first two games are the most important games of this series.
Mm-hmm.
If the Boston Celtics lose one of those first two games, Brooklyn is going to win that series. You can mark my word. You could take that one. You could take that one to the bank. The Celtics better win those first two games. They better win those first two games. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. KD and Kyrie could win a game in Boston. They can win a game in Boston. Okay? And I'm going to tell you this right now, Mo. You better win those first two games. If you don't, it's over.
Okay.
It's over.
And we talk about KD and Kyrie can win a game in Boston. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and the whole team can win more than one game in Brooklyn. Why? Okay, Brooklyn weren't even a plus 500 team at home this season.
Okay. That's
everyone's talking about Brooklyn are big and bad. They're the 7th seed, and they're the 7th seed for a reason. Here's my thing with Brooklyn. There's too many ifs. You just said it yourself. If they can win one of the first two games.
Mo, I think Boston, listen, Mo.
They can play defense. Mo. If the role players step up. It's loads of ifs. I deal with facts, not ifs.
Okay, Mo. Who you got to win this series?
Boston.
Okay. All right.
Straight facts. No gimmicks.
Ah! Mo, I like it. Mo, bring it heat. You put pressure on me, Mo.
Come on, man. Let's break it down. Let's break it down for real.
Okay, let's break it down. Let's break it down.
We sit around and we talk about defense wins championships all the time. But for some reason, this is the only series where common sense flies out of the window. And we say, well, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving could win a game. Well, if that's true, then why have we not got Brooklyn winning this whole thing? If that's true, and defense all of a sudden now doesn't win championships, and KD and Kyrie are these superpowers that are going to score 150 between them, why don't we have Brooklyn down winning the entire thing? Because if you're saying to me that Boston aren't good defensively, that's a lie. They had the best defense in the entire league. And that was without them even playing well for the first 3 months. They still had the number one ranked defense. Imagine if they had their chips in order for the first 3 months, they would have had the best defense the history of the league has ever seen. So we're talking about defense wins championships. We love to sit here. We say it every week. Defense wins championships. Oh, Phoenix can win because they got great defense. Milwaukee can win. They got great defense. Well, so do the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics have the best defense in the league. And I know they're down Rob Williams. They're missing their best defender. But guess what? So are the Brooklyn Nets. They're missing their best defender too. Ben Simmons sitting there wearing his Prada jacket made 100% of laps. Guess what? I don't care. Guess what? I don't care. Okay? I deal in facts and I deal in buckets.
You know what? You know what, Mo? You know what? You know what, Mo? You know what? Stand up, Brooklyn. Stand up. I'm going with Brooklyn right now. You just, Mo.
Tell me why. Tell me why though. Basketball reasons only.
This is why I'm going with Brooklyn.
Why?
This is why I'm going with Brooklyn. There's two things I see that concern me with the defensive matchups. I'm all about the matchups.
Okay.
Regular season, I'm all about defense, but I'm all about matchups.
Okay.
Okay. You're missing a big component to this defense right now. You don't have any rim protection. That's a real problem versus KD. That's a real problem. Like, there isn't an athlete that can disrupt KD. Right? Okay. You can't put Jaylen Brown on him. Okay, you're gonna say Marcus Smart, but you can't put Marcus Smart can't be two places at once. He's either got to be with Kyrie or KD. And one of them is going to have an advantage. You can't switch here, and you have no rim protection here. I'm really concerned with that. Mo, you have a great defense, but we know what we're going to do. We're going to give you a question. No, Mo, you ask me a question. Now let me answer, and then you can ask.
Okay.
Because you whatever I say, you're going to say the opposite anyway. So let me make my point, and then you can go and do your thing. All right. You control and do your Mo thing, right? Okay.
Go on.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I think the matchup here is a bad matchup because Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown is going to have to guard Kevin Durant for 7. And that's going to take away one of those guys on the offensive end. Now, somebody's going to have to step up. All right, Derek White, somebody. I don't know who this other person is. Now, I like the fact that the matchups, in my opinion, just looking at this as we're talking here, I think it favors Brooklyn. And I'm telling you, Mo, I'm telling you as a person who's played, you got to figure out when you look at the series, you go, like there's some series where you say, okay, we lost game 1, but we can win this series because, you know, if you lose game 1, you could be down 3-1. And that concerns me with this team. Why? Because if Jaylen Brown is not exceptional, I don't see anyone else that is going to step up and carry that load. Now, Jason Tatum is capable. But if he doesn't, let's just say he doesn't for whatever, he doesn't shoot well, whatever the case may be. Who knows? Whatever. That's why we're going to play the game. I don't see anyone else that could, maybe Marcus Smart will have a game. Maybe one of those guys. I don't know. Maybe Big Al will turn back the hands of time. I don't know where this is going to come from. But right now, Mo, matchups are a concern. I'm just saying, and you know what, Mo? The more I think about this, because there's one thing I do know. I don't care what happens. KD is going to show up at the run. Okay. KD is getting 30. Okay. And I'm assuming Jason Tatum is going to shoot to get 30. Now, whether or not he gets it, maybe they double. I don't know what they're going to do. But I'm just saying, I think the matchups favor them. I'm going with them. I think it's going to go 6 or 7. But whatever it does, I'm going with the Brooklyn Nets. And you and I will be watching. And Mo, you might as well just keep our phone. We might as well just keep our phones on for the next 2 weeks.
So,
because you know what, Mo, I'm all over this.
So
go ahead, make your point.
You want to
talk
talk about, no, I want to ask you. I want to ask you. You want to talk about matchups? Let's break it down from the other perspective. You're asking me who's guarding KD, who's guarding Jason Tatum in this series?
Okay.
Who's guarding Jason Tatum?
I like the matchup.
No, again, who's guarding him?
No one's stopping Jason Tatum. Let's get that clear.
Okay, but who is going to be matched up with him?
Okay, you could put KD on him.
Okay, for 7 games.
For 7 games.
Okay, and who's guarding Jaylen Brown?
Okay, you can put the kid. What's his name? I always call him Bruce Bowen. I don't know why.
Yeah, Bruce Brown. Okay,
Bruce Brown. You could put Bruce Brown. You could put Bruce Brown. You could put who else is over there? The one kid is hurt. Did you see his stat line tonight?
Seth Curry. Yeah, 0.
Yeah. I think he's hurt. Okay.
Yeah, he is.
You could put Kyrie. You can do a number of things. I'm not saying Jaylen Brown is going to get his. They're going to get it. Again,
so
I'm just talking about the matchups. The difference is I don't think that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, you could play isolation basketball and win in this matchup.
I don't think
this is not a matchup. Again, this is what I see because Mo, they're going to cancel each other out.
They don't need to play isolation basketball.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. Mo.
The Nets do.
Absolutely. This is what I'm saying. At some point here, one of them or both of them are going to command one of the following: either a double team, or they're going to have to say push everything to one, and then we're going to help or zone or whatever it is. Kevin Durant is going to command a double team. That's all I'm saying, Mo. They got to do something here. Well, and if the game is close, that's all. Mo, this is about matchups. How are they going to match up for 7 games with no rim protection? You can't put Al Horford on them. You can't just say Jason Tatum is going to guard him for 7 games.
Yes.
You can't say
Because you just
Derek
said
White.
KD's going to guard Jason Tatum for 7 games.
Okay, I like the matchup, Mo. Again,
okay.
It's the matchup, Mo. I'm not saying he's going to stop him. I just like the matchup.
Okay.
If he's playing against each other, I'll take Kevin Durant and you take Jason Tatum.
And last time that happened, Jason Tatum had 54. Kyrie and KD combined for 56. That's what happened the last time they matched up.
Okay.
I like my odds.
Okay. You like your okay. Jason Tatum is going to do what Jason Tatum is going to do. But for 7 games, Mo, 7 games.
Yes.
Who won that game? Who won that game?
The Boston Celtics.
How many they win by? I can't remember.
I don't know. They won.
Okay. I'm excited for this series. I mean, Mo, honestly, I kind of want to be in the building right now.
The Celtics have won their last 3 matchups against the Brooklyn Nets.
Okay. They better win the first 2. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not fussed. The Boston Celtics are going to win this series. They've beaten the Brooklyn Nets, playing worse players than they have now. And I know the Time Lord's injured, but
you know what I see too?
Go on.
Ben Simmons is coming back.
I ain't worried about that. Not for a single second.
Hey, Ben Simmons is going to come back, baby, and lock up one of them. He's going to lock up Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
He ain't coming back, and he ain't doing nothing. All right, you tell me. You're going to miss a whole year of basketball, walk back into the Boston Garden game 1. Not happening. His little feelings are going to get hurt all over again.
Did you say the Boston Garden?
Yeah.
Hey, did you say the Boston Garden?
He missed a whole year. He missed a whole year because Philly fans hurt his feelings and they booed him. Ain't no way he's coming back in the playoffs. And if he does, his feelings are going to get hurt all over again. Ain't no one out here worried about that, man. Because then you ain't even got to cover him on defense. You just got to give the ball in his hands and dare him to shoot and watch him crumble again. I ain't worried. No one should be worried.
Stopper, baby. They bring it back to defensive stopper.
No one should be worried. He ain't doing nothing. They ain't going nowhere. Brooklyn Nets going home round 1. We're going to be right here.
Oh, man, that would be great if he plays. That would be so much theater. Bo would be.
I would love it. They're going home either way. And then I'm going to play back all of this laughter you're hearing from BJ right there in the second round when Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are sitting at home. Shout out to Kyrie, though, getting it done today. One of the most efficient performances I've seen, all whilst fasting for Ramadan. He had 34 points, 12 assists on 80% from the field, 3 from 6 from downtown, 12 from 15 from the field. An amazing performance. He spoke about it afterwards, talking about the impacts of fasting and how blessed he feels. So shout out to Kyrie Irving. Unfortunately, you're going home in the first round, but I admire the attempts. Congratulations to the Brooklyn Nets. They lock into the 7th seed in the East. The Minnesota Timberwolves lock into the 7th seed in the West. BJ Armstrong locks himself into a bad prediction about the Brooklyn Nets. And you guys are locked into the Hoop Genius podcast. So make sure you're subscribed, leave a review, leave some ratings, because we're going to be rocking with you for the NBA postseason tonight. We've got more player action.
Are you?
Win or go home.
You're hot right now. Are you mad right now?
No.
Okay,
I just know for a fact what's going to happen. And I just, I don't want everyone to get ahead of themselves thinking that this is a game of 2K, because it's not. We're not turning the sliders up, okay?
Mo, are you a little upset right now? I mean,
I'm a little upset because I was very disappointed in the Brooklyn Nets because they were up 22 points, and I thought, you know what? If they just blow this thing wide open, I could take a little nap and then get ready for the second game. But guess what? The Cleveland Cavaliers got right back into it. And I was just watching the game like, come on, Brooklyn, you should have handled business. Up 22 in the first half, put the game away. Don't play. It was like the Indiana game that we were talking about before. They had to play KD 40 minutes to beat the Indiana Pacers. They barely beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. So why should the Boston Celtics be worried? There's no way. There's no way.
Why should you be worried? Well,
I ain't worried.
It's a cakewalk.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Yep. I'm ready.
Okay.
I can't wait. I can't wait. We're in the studio for game 1 this Sunday. Live on TV. We're going to be in the studio. We're going to be there.
What's your record? What's your record this year, Mo, on Sky? What's your record?
I don't know. But it's a new era. It's the postseason. It's not the regular season. We're in crunch time now. We're in crunch time now. This Sunday, you're going to see the Celtics go 1-0 up on the Brooklyn Nets. Live and direct, hosted by yours truly.
Okay.
But yeah, tonight, more playing action. 9-10th seed, Hornets, Hawks, and the Spurs, the Pelicans. Win or go home. It's the NBA playing. They say it's win to get in. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping the games are just as good as the one we just saw between the Clippers and the Timberwolves. But only time will tell. We're going to be there. We're going to be back to you tomorrow morning, breaking down the action for you once again. So until next time, you know the vibes. Get buckets.